What is up YouTube, and welcome back to the WildRift video. It's time for a new video, and this time we have new patch notes of 6.b, and we have something pretty special for you. So before we hop over into the patch notes, let me tell you how you get free skins. Just follow the instructions on the screen, go into your local shop in the game, then you hop onto offers, and then there's a button called bundles. In this bundle screen, you will then see 10 free chests you can simply claim, and then you have a random chance of gaining random chests that contain skins from the current event. I've seen people get lucky and get up to 5 different skin selection chests, it's random skin chests, sorry. So get lucky, post what you get, tell me what you got, what you've got in the description below, and now let's talk about the actual patch notes. WildRift patch notes 60b. Okay, let me take a look at this. 2 weeks in, and we are already on the second balance pass of patch 6.0. The performance of a few champions are still outliers following the endurance changes early in the patch, so you see a few buffs and nerfs of them below. Additionally, Aram and Hextech Aram are getting some significant balance changes. Last but not least, the Celestial Embroidery skin line champion weave their way into the Rift. Champion changes. Rumble. We've buffed Rumble's durability and kiting abilities to help him last longer in a fight. Scrap Shield. What are they doing? Let me grab the right pencil here, and okay. So we are gaining a bigger shield value from 30 to 35%. Additionally to that one, we also gain a movement speed increase by 5% in total. So you see it's just a 5% increase across all ranks, and the shield value obviously scales with 150% of the entire base value. Rumble wasn't really that squishy in the first place. It's just about heat management. The champion has a skill curve and mastery curve. So I think buffing him this early is just, it's a typical right thing to do. He's not a bad champion. Definitely takes some skill to learn this champion, and then he's quite good. He's a free item champion, by the way. On free items, this champion is an absolute monster, and the biggest issue this champion has is, in fact, his ultimate, by the way. Oh, and by the way, if you want to get ready for the gacha I talked about earlier, you can just join one of my partners in the description below, be it either Dream for You or the Zoo. You can join either, depending on how many gifts they have available. You can get cheaper wild calls, cheaper anything there, so do yourself a favor and obviously take a look at that. And by the way, this patch, again, didn't mention at all any problems with map hackers, any problems with the AI lobbies, nothing, but, at least enjoy your free skins. It is what it is. Kalista. We wanted to improve Kalista's performance in a dual lane, so we buffed her damage when fighting with teammates. Sentinel. Passive damage is seeing an increase from 14 to 16 and a cooldown from 10 to 8. Considering that the cooldown is completely irrelevant because a Kalista fight usually is you just all in and you just kill. But the problem is Kalista lost 12 AD, damage on her E, and she's basically just a dead champion right now. This is not going to do anything, and it's just going to slap a buffed label onto Kalista, which honestly doesn't do anything. Riot is really reluctant on buffing his champion again because they're afraid of their top lane population, when it's just very easy to deal with AD carry tops that are not called, for example, Varus. Next up, we have Evelynn. We buffed Evelyn's ult, matching her damage stats with her ability visuals performance, allowing her to pose more threat to her enemies. Last Caress, we see a base damage increase from 120 to 150, and the late game is just a 10 damage increase. So it's a 10, 20, it's a 30, 20, 10 damage buff. The issue with this change is it doesn't really do anything, because Evelynn's current issue is actually getting people below the threshold so this spell actually kills. If Evelynn gets the people below the threshold, she would still kill, but as it stands currently, she doesn't really do so, which is a problem in itself, and this doesn't tackle the problem at all, because she doesn't get the people below the 35% threshold. And then the base damage increase doesn't really do anything for that one. Jinx. Compared to other marksmen, Jinx is more prone to running out of mana, absolutely true, so we've decreased her mana consumption and buffed her ability to deal damage in teamfights. Switcheroo. Mana consumption for each attack of Fishbones, the rocket launcher is decreased from 30 to 20, and the damage of Fishbones, the rocket launcher is increased from 107 to 110. Okay, this is a way bigger buff than you believe it is, because Jinx had such big mana issues for seasons now. This is actually taking care of that one, making her a lot better. For example, Jinx is a lot better, a way better champion than Caitlyn will ever be. Ever. It's not even remotely close. But yeah, this definitely makes Jinx a lot better, but she still will not be a G tier pick in the AD carry meta because she simply can't deal with tanks. Urgot. We buffed Urgot's damage in the early game, so he will pose more of a threat to enemies in his lane. The bonus damage from his Echoing Flames is increased by 1%, as you see, of the target's maximum HP. This will not really put Urgot back into the meta. It doesn't really do too much, to be fair. It's just feels good change. But yeah, I don't really think it actually does anything. Currently, you don't even, like, there's no point of picking this champion, it just doesn't do anything. Riven is currently performing poorly in Baron lane, but carving it up in the jungle. Well, yeah, of course, because jungle doesn't really have direct counter matchups, because 99.9% of the game's population can't even play jungle. Like, they don't even know what to do. We're trying to bring back both her roles more in line with each other by improving her early phases in the Baron lane, while nerfing her jungle efficiency. Broken Wings base damage increased by 10 in total, you see. And the shielding of Valor is also increased by 10. The thing is, Riven in the top lane, or rather Baron lane, is a champion that is very strong for levels 1 to 3. Once other people have access to more, like, all their base abilities, Riven already falls off. She has a very good potential of punishing you if you're really playing bad during that time, and if she snowballs, you really don't come back. However, this doesn't make Riven jungle, like, it doesn't kill it at all, like, it really doesn't. The thing about this is, if you do the perfect clear, somebody tested this, if you do the perfect Chinese clear, you finish the clear in 141 after the nerfs. 141, this is the perfect Chinese clear, which is still a lot better than other champions in the game. If you're a typical, like, casual Riven player, you'll probably finish the clear like 152 or something, so it's still within the realms of being quote-unquote okay. But in the Baron lane, this champion just doesn't scale as well as other options. So even though it is meant as a buff for the champion in the Baron lane, it doesn't really put her back onto the playing field unless you're playing against really bad players who are walking into a level 1, and then you can just basically abuse them with your first ability spam and auto attack, and therefore just gain a free pass during the laning phase. But yeah, laning against Riven is just basically surviving early game and then you're fine. Camille. A small nerf to Camille's tactical sweep to bring her down in line with her peers. What do we see here? We see the bonus damage being decreased by 1% in total, you see here. Which is funny because Camille really isn't in a good spot right now. This champion really doesn't do damage as of this moment and is basically a pet for the jungle. Like, it's just, hey, do you have ultimate? The X-Tech ultimatum? Yes sir, I do. Okay, I come over, I just grab a kill. And in the past it was good to actually give Camille the kill, but now it's really not. She just really doesn't feel very strong right now, and this nerf really feels out of place. Kayle, oh, this is going to be so fun. This is going to be so goddamn fun. We nerfed Kayle's sustainability and damage, especially in the early phase of the game, to better position her as a powerful late game champion. Celestial Blessing, we lower the healing by 15. You see, but no scaling change. And the Starfire Spellblade damage is also being decreased by 1%. Another funny thing that many Kayle players don't actually do right. I challenge you, please take a look at your skills. Look what ranking your third ability, actually, like ranking it up, actually does to you. You gain like 3 on-hit damage per rank, plus 1% missing damage. And I think it scales down by a few seconds of, I think 2 seconds of cooldown, I'm not quite certain. But yeah, now compare what your first ability does for you. It decreases the enemy slow, I think, on rank 1 by 26, and every rank after it's 8% more. So the first ability does a lot more, which is funny because, well, many Kayle players don't even max the right ability to actually fully utilize their champion. But yeah, I don't know why we're nerfing Kayle. This champion gets absolutely dumpstered in mid lane, in top lane, even in jungle, but the problem is, in jungle, people have to play correctly, and obviously this never happens. Oh wow, finally a nerf that's actually warranted. Let's take a look at that one. Amumu. A nerf to Amumu. Mumu's overpowered damage and jungling efficiency. Yeah, this champion had a full clear in 1 minute and 18 seconds. 1 minute and 18 seconds, by the way. That's faster than Scuttlecrab Swans. Despair. Base damage, we see 30 to 25 base, that is 5 damage nerf. And the bonus damage per second from 2% max HP to 1.4. That is a massive nerf in the jungle department. I don't specifically know the timer now you have in jungle, but you should be significantly slower. Nonetheless, Amumu will still be, like, Amumu was good before the buffs in the meta if you play tank. He was good. Now, after the durability changes, he got better, and he is still good as a champion. He's just not as Omega broken as he used to be. It's just very important to remember that one. If you take a good look into the scaling of the second ability, it still scales up back to the previous level of damage that we had before. You just have to input points, which is something that many people might not be ready to do. And the ultimate Curse of the Sad Mummy loses 10% ability power, which again, consider, oh, by the way, we also have an AP nerf here. Important to remind you, it's like a 0.6 AP to 0.4 AP scaling. So this champion on AP got gutted even more, and they are promoting a more tank-oriented build again, which I think is fair. This champion is a very good beginner champion, and WildRift needs beginner champions that are very efficient, very good for all the people of all elos to perform well with, and obviously this is a very good beginner jungle champion you should always have on your radar if you actually want to play jungle. Soraka's healing abilities gained outside benefits from endurance changes, so we are slowing down how often she can heal her allies. Healing from 6 to 7, so we have a 1 second cooldown change. The funny part is, why are we even touching Soraka? The rework was a failure, and can we please reward Soraka? This is my personal opinion. Anyway, I haven't seen Soraka in any meaningful game being a problem so far, so if you personally have some things to share about this one, feel free to actually let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'm just curious about that one. What else do we have here? We have gameplay adjustments. We have the Baron Nashor nerf. Shortened the time it takes for Baron to join combat with Node's Deluge, transforming champions to instruments for 2 seconds into 1 second. Bless you. This was so annoying. You just can't do anything. It's so goddamn annoying. Game mode changes, items and routes for ARAM. I will just have this on screen here. I will not read this. I will just give you the ability to just quickly pause, and you can just peruse these one and just go through them. And yeah, with that done, we can then take a look at the skin lines, by the way. Celestial Embroidery, Evelyn, Aurelia, Lux, Rakan, Zaya, and the Chroma versions of these ones. And they're all going to release on the 27th of January. And again, I want to repeat, if you want to get these cheaper and obviously don't want to spend too much on wild costs, you can partner up with any, like you can just visit any one of my partners in the description below. Just tell them Kirk sent you and you'll be very warm welcomed, and you get a lot of things like super cheap. Anyways, that is it for today's video. We are going to be back with more videos soon, less streams because of time restrictions, and then we just have some more fun. Anyways, take care. By the way, coaching is still 50% off if you're interested, so yeah, see you soon. Bye-bye.